Welcome back to the Dallas Meetup Dime, where we get straight to the value in 10 minutes or less. I'm your host, Carson Gibbons, and today I'm joined by the founder and CEO of Rodeo Soccer Club, Ben Watson.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Carson. Excited to share more about what we have going on.
Please do. How does one become a founder of a soccer team?
Man, a whole lot of passion for the sport and a lot of no's. Get told no one too many times and eventually you'll figure out a way to get it done.
Glutton for punishment. Catch us up on the professional history that led us to this, where you're the founder of an expansion team in this league.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up here in North Texas, had a passion and a background in playing the sport of soccer. And so played through the youth systems here in Dallas, was fortunate enough to play collegiately and then professionally overseas, both internationally and then domestically here in the U.S. Injured my knee, and whenever you're injured as an athlete, you're like, man, what's next? What's my next step? And so I was fortunate enough to meet the guys at the USL. They were looking for a North Texas expansion franchise. Ironically, my wife and I are from here and said, man, we'd love to go back home. And so from that point, it was a lot of connecting relationships, figuring out how to launch a franchise, having zero background in operating a professional sports team, but a background in playing. Mm-hmm. So I was fortunate enough to meet my principal owner about 4 months into the process. And so from there, it's meeting the league's requirements and the federation's requirements for securing the territory, the right ownership group, and all of that from there.
What is a principal owner?
So a principal owner for a USL professional franchise has to own 35% or more of your team. Okay. And then they have to carry a certain net worth.
So is that like the main investor?
Correct. Yeah,
gotcha.
It's your primary investor.
Okay. Yeah. And then you go through all the criterion of meeting their guidelines. What does that look like for securing the territory as you...
Yeah, so securing the territory, the way it works is you don't just get the rights to one city, you get kind of a region. So DFW is carved up in a few regions. We got the northern portion, so I'd say Collin County, Grayson County is really where we operate. And so we were fortunate enough to partner with the city of Celina, bring in Rodeo Soccer Club, and then we actually have an affiliate team up in Grayson County with Texoma FC.
Interesting. Will they compete?
They feed each other.
Okay.
So the way soccer works in the professional landscape, there's 3 divisions, and then the 4th division is considered semi-professional. We have the rights to a 3rd division professional and then a 4th division semi-professional. Okay. Now I'm gonna go out on a limb here, Carson. Have you seen Ted Lasso or Welcome to Wrexham?
I haven't watched Ted Lasso.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Man. All right. Well, here's your notes. You grow your mustache out and then go binge watch Ted Lasso, and then that will kind of give you promotion relegation and a little bit of an understanding of what that looks like. Across the globe, promotion relegation in the soccer landscape is a big thing. If you win your league, you move up to a bigger and better league. If you lose your league, you move down. And so we have 3 divisions coming in 2028 with promotion relegation. So what that means is our 3rd division Rodeo Soccer Club has the potential one day to be a 1st division professional team.
Got it.
Yep.
I'm learning so much today after the sports cohort. We just had Nexo Dallas Open on the couch in one of our recent episodes, and knew nothing about tennis, clearly know nothing about soccer either. So this is a primer education for me. Tell me about the timeline with Celina specifically. So you approach them with your soccer pedigree, your relationships, you've got the investors, and you're bringing all the factions together to get this done. What's required of them? What's the pitch? Build me a stadium? Let's co-opt an existing one? How do you go from 0 to 1?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that have to take place to be able to essentially choose a city and the city to choose you back. For us, it was about 12 months in the making. Sitting down with the city, with the leadership, sitting down with the school district. There's not a stadium in place other than the school district and the high school stadium. So we have to get a stadium lease that meets the federation and USL requirements, be able to justify being there for a couple seasons. And in the meantime, behind the scenes, we're working on a permanent stadium solution where we believe that we will get one accomplished and built here in the next couple of years in Celina.
Interesting. But nobody's actually played a minute of game time, correct?
As of right now, Rodeo Soccer Club has not played a minute. They kick off March of 2027. Okay. And then Texoma FC played last year, and they're playing again this summer. So they're already up and running.
Okay. Interesting. What will be the biggest awareness component of your go-to-market in filling seats with butts, for first season beginning March 2027? Because that's around the corner already. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll say there's really 2 things that we looked at when we launched Rodeo Soccer Club to build a fan base and to build a stadium that's full of, I'm going to say, butts in the seats. One is there's a small tournament this summer. the World Cup's coming into the U.S. kind of aids us in the fact of growing the sport here. I think for us to be able to capitalize on watch parties, community events, and just spread overall soccer awareness, it'll be a great moment for us to start to build an organic fan base. The second one would be, we didn't just choose Celina FC. Now, we can get the traditional soccer fan if we would have just done geography, but we try to create something that was a little bit on the other side. I've listened to One Too Many Savannah Bananas podcast. I'll tell you right now, I'm a little bit thrilled and overtaken by how they've created their business model with the entertainment side of sport. So I look at that and I go, all right, well, if Rodeo Soccer Club is more of a theme and an entertainment, we become a Texas lifestyle brand that plays sport and not a sport that's trying to be a Texas lifestyle brand. And so we look at it from that lens. Rodeo Soccer Club, you show up to a game day and you want a fan experience. There's a mechanical bull on the concourse. So now you have people that are having fun jumping on the mechanical bull. You have a petting zoo over here that rotates animals that the kids get to go and experience and take pictures with and do all of that. You have a Western saloon sign that's wanted. So now your influencers and people like that want to take their pictures in front of it. You have cowboy hats that we have a little branding station and people are branding their hats. You have cowboy boots, you have cowbells. You create this whole experience around sport, and then people will start to organically fall in love with soccer throughout that process.
Give the significant others that maybe don't have a propensity to like soccer the ability to also enjoy something. It seems like all the new expansion leagues and teams are basically drifting off of the insights created by big sport, which is you have to have a parking lot full of other things. You need to have a fan zone. Even FIFA, isn't the stat that like 50 some odd million people will be here that don't even have a ticket to the game? And they're just going to fan zone experiences and, taking in the spectacle, essentially?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're saying the ripple effect from the games in Arlington will be 250 miles of people traveling in, booking hotels, booking Airbnbs, but then it's the fan zone experience. So if you can't get a ticket to the game, which obviously they're pretty expensive, so people are trying to figure out how to get to a lot of these, it's the fan zone experience. Sit outside the stadium, tailgate, have the cookout, play the games with everybody, listen to the music. I mean, you'll see people from all different countries parked outside of stadiums all across the US to experience the fan zone.
I imagine that parlaying off of that is like a big part of the go-to-market for Rodeo Soccer Club moving to March 2027. Are you going to be sponsoring different fan zone sections or doing experiential pop-ups? Like, what does your brand activation look like?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're going to be as active as we can be at watch parties, finding community events. We're actually hosting a Summer of Soccer series. So we're going to do our own set of watch parties in Celina. And then we're going to go find watch parties all across DFW. We're going to start to build relationships with soccer fans and people traveling in with the World Cup. It's about making those connections and those touch points because your brand needs to be present. I mean, you're a founder. You know what it's like. You got to wear your brand and be present for people start to care about it. It's longevity and authenticity that will win over a period of time. And I really look at that, and I think the World Cup's the biggest blessing for us. I mean, if we didn't have the World Cup, we're creating events trying to get people to care about us. People already care about the World Cup, and now we get to show up and help bring value, and then hopefully that creates them caring about us as a byproduct.
Well, and I hope for soccer as an American whole that a whole new generation of people will continue to fall in love with it as a result of the World Cup and access to Major League Soccer and the various soccer leagues like represented here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll tell you, as of December this past year, a study came out. Soccer officially passed baseball as the third most popular sport in the U.S. I hate to say that. I'm a huge fan
Based on what?
It was a study that came out. I need to go back to the sources and fact check that. But it's NFL, NBA, and then it was MLS, MLB, and the NHL. That was the case study that came out. So
baseball's in trouble.
I would say there's still obviously a great sport and there's America's pastime, but something that you see is the World Cup came in 1994. Soccer since then really has kicked off in this country, no pun intended. The academy landscape started. So a lot of kids started playing in soccer-specific academies. There are more soccer-specific stadiums. And what you're seeing is this movement and this growth of the younger generation. Soccer is the second most played sport, 24 and below. It's the second most watched sport, 32 and below in the US. So you really take those statistics and you go, all right, well, the younger audience is shifting that direction. And so it's exciting to see. I mean, the sport's growing year over year.
I wasn't allowed to play physical contact football growing up, so I can see how soccer would be the second most played sport, but the fact that it's the third most watched by people, did you say third most watched by people under 32?
32 and below, second most watched.
Second most watched. That's insane to me.
Yeah.
That's wild for the sport of baseball and some of these others that you've seen, like the NBA talking about shrinking the game to like 2 20-minute halves like college, or 4 10-minute quarters, like it's just wild.
Yeah.
Question for you on your own personal aspirations. Like, let's say that this all gets set up and it's going swimmingly in 2030. What are you doing? Are you like, how Jerry Jones are you with how much of your aspiration has to do with the actual sport of soccer still? How much of a GM role do you want to play with like actual player operations and game strategy versus kind of the licensing and growth of the overarching entity?
Yeah, for sure. Well, one, I'll say Jerry Jones miles bigger than I am. I will never be that, but I'll say he is definitely the gold star for
the
DFW
licensing
sports.
goat.
Yeah, the goat of licensing. No, I'll say for me, I mean, obviously a passion for the sport. I care a lot about creating pathways for kids growing up in North Texas to be able to step into an academy, into semi-professional, into professional. Being involved in that level, I think, will be important for me and just kind of my passion. From a day-to-day role, I act more as president and I'd say more like a GM, if you will. It's hard not to, with the Texoma team, for example, it's hard not to say, ooh, that player's good, or we should play this style of soccer. I stay out of that.
Really?
I think for me, you're empowering your coach and your sporting director to make that decision. So you don't need to overstep and try to say, hey, I'm gonna tell you how to do it or what player we need to sign. So I think creating a clear boundary there is gonna be difficult, but something we need to do. And then, I see myself falling in love with the process of creating fan experience. That is really where my passion's drifting. When you talk about a sports franchise, you talk about being a founder and an operator, you're responsible for bringing thousands of people into a stadium and watching them walk out having a good time. Whether you win or lose the game, they need to leave having some sort of experience they're gonna go home and talk about. I see myself caring a lot more about that.
Interesting. What's your ask of our community? How can they find you? How can they get involved? The internship opportunities, where can they stay eyes peeled for tickets in the future?
Yeah, I'd say the ask for the Dallas Meetup community and just the DFW community at large is you got a sports team here that resembles Texas, that resembles our Western heritage, and we're really leaning in on that on a national landscape. Our league plays from Maine to Florida to Washington to California. We're a national league. People are coming into DFW airport, driving to Celina, and this is their experience of Texas. So let's give them a Texan experience. Let's show up, fill up the stands, create an experience where people walk out and say, wow, that was cool, that was unique. We have opportunities for people to get involved, whether that's coming in on staff, coming in as an intern, being a part of game day staff. There's a lot of ways to get involved. Our sports team right now is a 3rd division team, but at some point, fingers crossed, Texas loves winners and we have a success history here in the Metroplex. We might end up winning the league at some point and being a 2nd or 1st division franchise.
When you end up winning the league.
When. It's a matter of time.
Rodeo Soccer Club, Mr. Ben Watson, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Appreciate the time.